think actually, yeah, in here there's a map wall.
Oh, yes, I see it.
Yeah, so if you put your head sort of in the floor here, you can kind of get a full view. And basically what we did is we sectioned out different parts of the terrain around spawn, and we basically let each player, or the active players who wanted to take part in this, we gave them an area to basically build their own little village. And so we have these different spawn territories we're going to go to real quick, that we're going to look at, and we'll see each person's different areas. Okay, so here's the capital. This is the new spawn. This project was undertaken by Pecos, and he bases a lot of his builds off of actual places. Like gosh, I'm totally blanking on the name of this place, but this is actually what George Lucas based Naboo off of. It's is it called the Palisades of the Arts or something? It's some building I think it's in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Over here we've got the bank, and if you want to just go ahead and switch into creative mode.
Nope, there we go. Yep.
You can just kind of pop in here and just take a quick look.
Does it actually have like a safe of some sort set up?
It does right here. Oh, good, you made it through.
Yeah.
That's the first time usually iron doors, you end up having problems with them. So this is what he had built, because it's kind of interesting. The way that we kind of work on the server is that one person will come up with an idea, and then like it just kind of evolves from there. So I've actually got an idea right now that I'm going to try to implement using the scoreboard system, where we can actually, because one thing that's kind of annoying about this game is that, yeah, it's great to have emeralds, but it's hard to store large amounts of those in places where you can access them, like in your ender chest.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking about doing is setting up a scoreboard system where at each person's base they'll have basically an ATM, and you can drop emeralds into a hopper and it'll add points to your scoreboard system, which will basically act as your currency. And then we also had this idea of in order to reward people for actually taking time and really, being on the server a lot, contributing to how it's developing and whatnot. Oh my, man! You change your brightness once, and then it never stays where you had it.
It's never really the same.
But yeah, I've got another system with the scoreboards where you can actually make an automated nether, or it doesn't just need to be nether, but that's probably where you're going to use it to do automated track selecting. So basically you click a button, it sets your scoreboard to a certain value, and then you use test for commands to determine whether or not the cart is going to take different paths. So anyway, yeah, if you just want to come in here, this is the courthouse. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the Supreme Court, you could say. Now, Pecos is the one responsible for writing most of the server's lore, and he's come up with our whole legal system and basically how the chief justices work and all that. And it's actually a pretty complicated thing to explain, so I'm not going to go into it. But he's got like a really cool system set up for how all that works. If we have time and we end up getting to my base, I'll show you the jungle court, which is my own take on the court system, which is actually it was built for a spoof video that we were going to do about Law and Order, but we didn't end up getting there. But the idea was that you'd use like note blocks to do the Law and Order theme. Mm-hmm. The first spawn territory that we're going to look at is the one that was built by Big Bad Loser, and over here you can see his enormous laser pointer tower looking up in the sky.
Funny you mentioned that. That's kind of what I thought it was the first time I saw it, or I guess not really a lighthouse of some sort, but a laser pointer is a good description of it, definitely.
Well, it's funny because it's so big that it dwarfs the Capitol, which is like the government buildings, which should be grand and like overdone. So we constantly give him a hard time about it, and we're actually planning on moving it. So he built sort of an elven style. So he actually had another building, but he replaced it with the tower. So eventually that'll probably get switched back. Mm-hmm. And then he's got like this Yggdrasil type tree over here. Here we've got a Venice style build. This was actually built by Example.
Oh, is it the colored houses? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like these kinds of houses using the clay blocks. It's a nice effect. The colors blend really well. And I love Venice.
Yeah, it's such a exactly. It's such a cool idea. And then real quick, I just want to point out over here we've got a
theater of sorts, or
yeah, it's an amphitheater.
Yeah.
This was built by a guest member on the Third Echelon server who's actually from the Dadcraft server named Durandal. And basically, it's kind of funny. We were actually talking about this tower over here, how it was such a. Go ahead and clear the weather real quick. How it was such an eyesore, and somebody had suggested that we build an amphitheater there in order to cover up the transitions from certain places. And Durandal saw amphitheater and just jumped on and built it, and he totally missed what we were getting at, but it actually totally works. Yeah, it's a nice build. So this is being built by one of our original members, and it's kind of the curse of the server is that most of our original members are people that I know in real life, and so we are relatively the same age, and we started playing while we were in college, and then basically when we all graduated and got jobs, most of us don't have time anymore.
Yeah, but I have a day job as well. I know how that is.
Yeah, so Alamantis is building this tower here.
And this place looks like a sand village of sorts.
Yeah, this Paul took it upon himself to construct. Oh my!
Kind of looks like shops, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna relog. Hold on.
Sure thing.
Yeah, that's much better. I just need to relog. Yeah, so he built this little area. He decided to rather than use the desert that's really nearby spawn, he decided to make his own. So he built this little.
He terraformed all this.
Yeah, he terraformed it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't notice. There is a huge patch of grass with a bunch of wheat over here as well.
Yeah, yeah. So just past there, good, you followed me. Here is Joe Craftness's western town.
I like it.
Yeah, it was originally built relatively near my base, but once we started the spawn territories idea, he requested that I move it with MC Edit in order to let it be a part of like the whole thing we were planning with the spawn territories. So that's how it ended up here.
I like it. It's a nice. I like this idea of having a whole bunch of just different villages nearby a spawn area. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's one of those things where every once in a while you just got to get real creative and come up with an idea that everybody can get behind, so that you can keep the server creative juices flowing, and you basically for at least a couple months you get everybody back on who starts to really communicate with each other and really get projects going. So it's every once in a while you just got to come up with those ideas. They've got the spawn village that I created, which I call the food village.
I wonder why.
So the first place I built is the taco.
Yes, I see.
And because it's a taco house, I call the garage the Taco Raj, and I got my horse Hot Sauce in there.
Hello, Hot Sauce.
And then so Paul and Joe and Roy and a couple of new members are all from Germany. So Paul pranked me at one point by building Paul's Lederhosen, and I just haven't taken it down yet. But we've got.
If you put some pretzels next to it and maybe some cheese, you could go with this place really well.
So we've got waffles here, and I actually invited people to come and build their own food place. So over here we've got the spilt teacup that was built by Roy. We've got my hamburger. Then there's the Coke bottle that acts as like a lookout. Okay, so let's see. Then we've got the everybody's favorite, the little lobster over here.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, ooh, I see this.
Yeah, and then this is meant to be like a salt and pepper shaker. Right?
Very nice.
And then these things with the
are these like popsicles or lollies?
Yeah, but they're all like a weird color. You know, I should probably just use stained clay, because then you could have different color. Looks like I guess a creeper must have blown up here and somebody only had wood to replace it with. That's not cool, guys. Okay, so over here we've got Kashi's RV Park.
Just a second. Just kind of bothers me a little bit. Almost done. There we go. Much better.
Perfect. Over here we've got Kashi's RV Park, which if you want to take a look at the map again, we are in the upper right corner. You can see it says "You are here" when you mouse over it.
Oh, that's smart. I never thought to do that. I'm guessing he has either the map or something in a picture frame name behind.
Yeah,
it.
the map is just named "You Are Here," and it gives it that effect. As you can see, we've got all these different RVs. This one right here is built by Example.
Mm-hmm.
I had a video actually where I came over here, and I stupidly got in here and then turned off the. I hit the lever again and closed the door behind me, and I couldn't get the door open, so I broke off this this lever here, and I used it to get the door open, and then I opened the other side, and then when I put it back, I put it back like that, and I left. And then later on, I looked back at the footage in my video and realized that I put it on the wrong way.
Ah.
Right. So this is supposed to be a sink. So I actually flooded this, and I had the water out here and stuff, and I made a little gag that I needed to give him my insurance card. So that's what this is doing here, because I had accidentally flooded his area.
That's nice.
And then this one over here, this Airstream is built by Durandal. And then Kashi built these cabins. We got, I think this is Roy's Mondo RV.
Mm-hmm.
And then always the jokester, rather than build an RV like they did, the first one I built is this one over here, which is the little covered wagon.
Yep.
and then furthermore, I built the
sideways turn one. Oh, this is good. I like that. That's creative.
Yeah, taking a cart through here is not going to be so fun. So, but yeah, once I got to here, I just used TNT and I blew out this area.
Definitely making it a lot easier.
Yeah, and then here's where the path picks up. So, in certain areas, I know what I want, so I build that part of the path, and then as time goes on, I've been connecting the paths.
Just kind of building them as you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So over here, this is a warehouse for a fictional, lore-based company that I call the Mandrake Shipping Company.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go ahead and just sort of pop in here.
Oh, this looks awesome.
Yeah, so I just I've been really practicing. I'm guessing
this drives some people crazy with OCD and all that just by looking at it, but I think it looks great.
You know how the leads animals can pop off leads and stuff when the chunks unload. That was a glitch for a while. So this donkey here used to be tied to this post over here.
And he made his way all the way over there?
Yeah, I thought I lost him. And I just noticed that he got his way up there and he pushed all those boats. So the boats on the ground aren't actually supposed to be here. You were talking about OCD and all that.
Ah.
These boats that look really messy are not supposed to be there. He knocked them off of here because you can see the rest of them over here.
What a little rascal, making a mess of the place.
And then you saw this before, but we've got the bulletin board.
Was the wait, no, that's a donkey. I was gonna say, is that the mule you're missing?
No, this was actually a prank I pulled on Roy, because during his live stream, he lost the mule, and while he was live streaming, I built this. So the maps were updating at his base over time while he was live streaming. And his username is RoyHas666, so that's why the number is that way. And then the last scene date, that's the date of his live stream. So over here, I've got this crane, and I've started in just I'd say the last year and a half, I've been really pushing myself to build in ways that I'm not necessarily comfortable in,
Yeah, I've never, honestly, in all the years I've played Minecraft, I've never really done kind of like a messy, all over the place kind of just stacking items like this before. Mm-hmm. I really like the way it looks.
Yeah, I got this. Actually, the person who inspired me to do this was actually Paul. If you might have noticed, actually, I think he might have cleaned it up because he was using the resources. But over at his spawn territory, he used to have a big messy pile. And when I saw that he did that and it looked so nice, I've been really pushing myself to experiment with that and use all the different sized blocks, so you can get those really messy looking things, because like the flower pot and everything, and like the different textures, like the piston has like that change in texture towards the top if you place them this way, and the beds and all that. So
it also gives it a nice effect with all the depth, like you said, all the different sizes of blocks.
And then I put like the Mandrake Shipping Company sign on it. I like to build everything using maps. Like, I'm always focused on how things are going to look on the map, and they always look better diagonal, like stuff that you would normally think, oh, I'm just going to build it straight. If you can do it diagonally, it usually looks better. So, like for instance, this bridge right here going across on the map.
The straight one that I saw, or are you talking about the winding one that's diagonal? That one, yeah,
the diagonal one. So especially with bridges, that's sort of been my thing lately, is building bridges diagonally. So over here, this takes you to a sand village that was naturally generated.
Yep.
And then I just recently continued the path over here, and I'm just laying out the basic things so he can decide what he wants to do with it. He's building this castle over here.
Mm-hmm. And by the look of it, I would assume he's going to build something upwards, since he's also put a couple towers in.
Well, I think that the towers are for him to visually see things, like get a perspective of how he's planning it out.
That's true.
But I actually predicted, we do this thing every year that I started from the very first year that I was doing YouTube, where on New Year's Day, my first year doing YouTube, my New Year's video had some weird issue because of the way I was recording back then, and the footage got all melty looking, like it looked like the footage was melting, so I was late. Huh. Yeah, it was a broken movie file, it got real bad.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But because it ended up coming out so late, I decided to start a tradition back then, in order to make up for my 2 subscribers back then, for not coming out with my video on time, where I started doing this thing I call the base progression video. So once a year, in January, I make a video where we look at people's bases, and we look at the original terrain, how it generated back in like 1.2 or whatever we started the server at, and then we see how it transitioned as they've built in a year's time, right? So I've actually been predicting that because of elytras, you're going to start to see a lot more tall buildings in people's bases until you came out with the launcher that shoots you straight up.
Which would increase the height for builds by much, much more.
Well, yeah, I guess you could build higher, but you don't need to technically anymore, because you can launch yourself from the ground, pretty much using your design.
Nope, I'm still waiting.
Whoops. Yeah, I had planned all this stuff using the @A to teleport everybody, but because Nexus and Van are on, I can't do that. Are you?
I mean, you always could.
But... I could, but they're gonna get really pissed. Okay, so in here, obviously, we're gonna go into the Nether. Now, as I told you before, there's a lot of stuff that's sort of in a transitionary period being worked on. So just like how we've got new spawn, this is the new Nether hub. The old Nether hub, or at least what's left of it was located over here. And in order to demonstrate what this is eventually going to be, it's going to be a much bigger version of what the old Nether hub was. So I'm going to take you real quick. So this would be the path to my base over there through the Nether. But the old Nether hub had little shop stalls underneath it.
Ooh.
With little, these were, so back when we started, they had that thing where you could actually melt ice in the Nether.
Yeah, I remember that.
And when we started the server, there were a lot of things that Mojang hadn't caught up on yet, but we knew eventually they were going to make doable in game. So I actually set up a little spot. Actually, it used to be right here. There's a little button in the wall that you could click, and it would give you 64 of the chiseled stone brick, because you couldn't craft those before.
Yeah,
and basically what you would do is you would toss 64 regular stone brick into a fire or something to burn it, and then you would just replace it with the chiseled stone brick, and that was how we sort of got around that. This over here was a mini map at the time when we first started of what the server looked like, but it's kind of like in Disneyland or like at an amusement park, how their maps are drawn with like the big indicators of what things are, So this would equal spawn. This is the old spawn, right?
Yeah.
And then over here, this was representative of our Stong's base back then, because he was in the snowy biome. And then, like over here was T. Calhoun, and then the Mushroom Island. So we just had little visual representations of them. If you look at the sky, even you can see like we had quartz slabs as clouds and stuff.
Yeah, actually, that's a nice effect too.
And then over here, this would be Alamantis' base, and then over here would be like this is I guess this is Haven Island back then.
I like keeping this old stuff, especially since the server is quite old. Just having
Right.
like it's history. It's the history of the server essentially.
Well, eventually, this area is going to be occupied by the new spawn territory, but it's going to be like a reconstruction of what used to be there. We actually have in the server's lore, we have different time eras and whatnot kind of laid out that we're sort of working on. Lots of really cool stuff. You know, we're working on the lore sort of retroactively. It's kind of interesting because we can actually take events that have occurred on the server and retroactively add them into the lore in a way that makes sense. And it's been a lot of fun to. Yeah, I'm gonna do that too because it's much faster.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the next stop. This is what we call Gameland. It's actually the mushroom.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
So I didn't build him like this originally, but every time Kashi comes by here, he puts the Hitler mustache back on. I actually built it this way because you can see the nostrils. I thought it was.
Oh,
like
that's I love staircase blocks. Using them for that kind of trick, it's awesome.
But yeah, Kashi keeps putting it back, so I guess it's just going to stay there for now. So this is Gameland. The original idea here, this was Alamantis built what he called the Alamantisino. And because again, Alamantis is one of the original members, so he doesn't have a ton of time to play. I've actually taken on a lot of his old projects, and I built a lot of this in creative on a single player world that I'm gonna
eventually transfer over. And
yeah, I'm actually gonna build it in survival over here. So there's gonna be like a nice mushroom restaurant down here and all that. That's gonna be built into the casino. But over here, this is where Gameland the casino obviously is part of it, and then also this over here is where Gameland gets its namesake. So I actually built this. No, dang it! All the signs need to be replaced. So this is actually a battleships board.
Oh,
and it was pretty fun. So over here is a dots and lines board.
Dots and lines.
So the cool thing about this board is check this out. So let's say that you've got like a finished game, let's just say, and the way that it would work is you'd have a bunch of carpet, right? Oh, actually, the carpet's just going to be on the
lights. Yeah.
On these, right? So when you're done, it can be a real pain to
clean it all up again.
Clean it all up. So I built this. So check this out. Stand back here and take a look at it. I'm going to press this button, and server lag might cause that to not work, but yeah. So what it does is the pistons push up all the redstone, and then the water comes down in a pulse that's short enough that all it does is knock off the
redstone.
The carpets, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Because the carpets can't be moved because of the lights and all that. So it knocks off the carpet. So all you have to do is run over there. You pick them up and you just toss them back in. And then the motif behind this is that it's based on a ship. Right, so it's like a ship crashed here, and then over many years, I guess it just sort of formed into the land somehow. So that's kind of the motif we're going through. And actually, before because I almost forgot to talk about it, over here I saw the beacon. There's actually, if you want to jump in either over the mountain or go through spectator mode, just go through it.
Oh, through the mountain. Okay.
Oh no, you're going the wrong way.
Oh, you said beacon. I thought you meant those ones.
Yeah, the black beacon. There's
a basketball court.
Basketball court here, yeah. So this is one that Kashi was coming up with. So that didn't work at all. You're supposed to run over the pressure plate, and then you get launched and you throw the ball. It's been raining, so the cauldrons have
been filling with water. Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, so
all right.
This took absolutely forever to put together.
Oh boy, I can imagine. That's nice you guys put aside a nice big space at least to do this kind of stuff. Yeah, is this an older one, I'm assuming?
No. This was just for one prank. This is the CubeCraft Trump poster. Well, I gotta relog. Dang it, I can't believe how bad this is.
Let's make the server great again.
Yeah, so basically, I don't know if you've seen went out of full screen out of habit. I don't know if you've seen the post I put on Reddit a while back, but one of our members actually one of our members is named CubeCrafty. That's his YouTube name, and he was on the server for a while, made like 3 videos, and then just disappeared and didn't even give us a goodbye. Just gone. And
Uh-huh.
then like 2 years later, almost 2 years to the day, he came back out of nowhere and started making videos again. And in the first video back on the server, he quoted Donald Trump. Jokingly, so he said, "Thanks for having me back. I can definitely, make this place great again." And so because he quoted Donald Trump, we decided to welcome him back by pranking him by building this campaign poster.
That is awesome.
Perfect. Okay, so this is Paul's current base that he's working on. Again, this is the same person from Germany who did the Lederhosen prank.
That's definitely yeah. See, like this kind of like these kind of like builds where it's really detailed, kind of all over the place.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
You can tell that as I add new members to the server, I'm inspired in different ways, and I come up with different ideas and new build styles, and I'm refining my technique based on, let's say, using them as my tutors or my teachers.
Yeah.
When he was building, I don't know if anymore, but when he was building it, this looks like he's doing a pixel art of Toad from.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's Toad from Mario. The green part's the face. He's even got like one eye, and there's a giant his mushroom cap.
Exactly.
Or like a. I guess it's not really a Goomba. It is more Toad than a Goomba.
Yeah, it really looked, when he was in the middle of building it, when that wheat farm wasn't there, it really looked like he was working on Toad, because the different houses look like the spots on the mushroom on the map and everything. Over here.
Oh, I see. He built a whole bunch of custom trees and stuff like that as well.
Oh yeah, he is the master of custom trees. Paul and Joe can build just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to invite you to come through here in creative mode, because it's easier to navigate in this cave. Make sure we close that so creepers don't follow us in and then blow up while he's on. So yeah, he's got this little area here.
I like it.
Dang it, I just disconnected.
Oh, that's all right. I'll wait for you here.
I meant to hit options, or options. I turned down the sound earlier, and now I can't hear like the door sounds anymore, even though I didn't turn it down all that far. Every once in a while, the sound in this game just cuts out for me for some reason.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Actually, I don't really have.
I don't even hear this. The wolf's not making any noises. I don't hear any footsteps. What's up with that? Anyway, so yeah, this is like his little bedroom chambers. I think he's got like a mine down there. And again, as we've started to really work on incorporating lore into the server, a lot of people have started to incorporate lore into their bases. So kind of the idea is that what we sort of thought is, like, just to give you a really brief, broad example of what it is that we're in, because we're called Third Echelon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the Third Age right now. Right?
Yeah.
And now the name Third Echelon actually comes from the satellite in Splinter Cell, because that's the NSA satellite that gathers all the text messages and emails and stuff. Basically, the lore goes that we're in the Third Age, and there were 2 ages that came before us. There was the First Age and the Second Age. And the First Age had a bunch of wizards and magical creatures and characters, let's say, that were more mythical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Second Age is basically like the Age of Man, where, let's say, caveman all the way until future technology. So when people join the server, basically, in the Third Age, people are wakening from a dormant state. So in the lore, I woke first because I started the server, and then I brought in my friends from school, from high school, and so they were awakening. And so I'm from the First Age, but I reawokened in the Third Age, because my character has more of a mythical side to him. He's not like a human being existing in this realm, right? So people who come onto the server, if their player skin and their sort of backstory is that they're, let's say, dressed up as a construction worker or something, then they're from the Second Age, right? Because that's like the Age of Man. So they might have engineering and all those things sort of in their tool belt, whereas people from the First Age are more, mystical and magical, right?
Yeah, I like that stuff. The lore is very interesting. Kind of looking at my skin, if I were to do a lore, I would be I would think of myself as a golem from the first age,
Right.
reawakened, trying to learn the technology of the second age.
Yeah, and actually that's actually why we designed the lore the way that we did, is because some of the players could have reawoken during the second age, because you play as ZaCrazyFool, right?
Yeah.
So you could even be during, let's say, the Middle Ages of man, but although obviously the land of Third Echelon is different from, the land of medieval Europe, but but you could say that you started, let's say, in the first age and then came into the second age, were awakened at some point for whatever reason. That would be your own internally written lore that would apply specifically to your character, and you existed for a time during the second age before then going back into the dormant state. And the reason we use the term dormant state is for people who were once really active on the server and then get a job and can't play for a while and then come back.
Oh yeah, so that's a good way to refer to it.
Yeah,
actually,
they go into the dormant stage. And they come back later, so that's why we don't say like these people left or they died or whatever,
Some of them just went to run for presidency and stuff like that.
Cubecraft Trump. He set up this counter over here that's supposed to be his subscriber counter. And when he got to 500 subscribers, he did a 500 subscriber special, and it synced up perfectly with the time I needed to make the New Year's video. And I had actually started my second channel, the Anime Collector, at that time.
Yep.
And I didn't have time to make a New Year's video, but I didn't want to not do the tradition. So I actually came over to his base and I pretended that my New Year's video was actually I pretended that his 500 subscriber special was actually my New Year's video. And so I crashed it. You have to see it. It's a really funny video where I run and get my coat and my glasses, and I'm literally, it has an achievement thing coming out that says incognito mode achievement unlocked, So I'm like, I'm hiding over here, and you can actually hear example doing the talk from his 500 subscriber video. You can hear it all muffled in the background. Oh. Did he launch out?
No.
Okay, well, yeah, he's sitting right here. Basically, what's supposed to happen is that a cow is supposed to launch out of there, or you can also do it with pigs and sheep, and they get launched out and they land in here and they get cooked from the fire that's in there. So when they fall down here,
I guess it sets off all the lights.
It sets off all the lights, and then the food, because it's a restaurant, so the food comes up through this item elevator over here.
Huh.
And then it comes out right here, and you press the button. If you teleport to me,
I'm right here.
There you are. Yeah. If you push the button, it's supposed to, you push the button, you watch the food get made because it launches out over to the tower over there, and then it comes up and your food ends up right here.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Do you see this chicken?
Where's the chicken? Oh, what the hell is he doing?
Okay, so remember I was telling you about the nausea effect?
Yeah, did he throw it at the chicken?
No. The game that we made requires you to have nausea at 100%, like as far as it can possibly go, speed as far as it can possibly go, and jump boost really, really high, right? I'll show you how we play it in a second, but when we did it,
not get splattered against the wall. He's like running into it.
Well, the way that I applied it is instead of using at A for the speed, I accidentally used at E, so it gave everything around his base maximum speed, and a couple things walked out of the chunks when we used the command to clear the effects and everything. So some of the stuff at his base has a lot of speed on it right now. So here is the haunted house over here.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm not getting any game sounds. And if you just go into spectator, I guess, and go in there, or actually, let's go to the front door and I'll walk you through it in creative, and then we'll switch into spectator. Just to save time. So, okay. So, have you seen the movie What We Do in the Shadows?
I don't think so. I'm really bad with movie titles, though. I'd have to see the the cover.
It's a mockumentary that takes place in New Zealand. It's a group of vampire flatmates.
I think I've seen. Yeah,
you've probably seen memes from it and stuff on Reddit and whatnot. But yeah, so examples from New Zealand, and he and I were watching that movie like around the same time, and we were constantly making jokes about it. So while we were building the whole castle or the whole haunted mansion here, we were constantly referencing that movie. So that's why it says "Home of the Vampire Flatmates" on the door.
Front door, yeah.
So anyway, the way that this game works, what we did is we actually had people come over. They put their stuff in here in the closet, right? So you don't lose your stuff during the dinner party, and then most of this is just for show. Like here, obviously, this is the kitchen, and then this is where people would have eaten it if we had not started with the tour instead of the dinner. So, like there's upstairs and everything, but basically we took them down here. Oh, look at this guy has a.
I was looking at him.
This guy's named after one of the
flatmates,
one of the werewolves in the movie. So down here we'd have people come by, and actually I'll just show you real quick another thing. So there's one of the vampires just named Peter. And he's
old-fashioned vampire from a long time ago.
Exactly. Yeah, he's the really old one. So the joke is it says, "Do not take selfies inside the coffin with Peter, because if you go in there, you can't get out. Because when you right-click, you take stuff off of the off of the armor stand."
Yep.
So anyway, over here, this is where we would bring people. So what you would do is you would grab a potion, and then we had people come in here. And then when everybody got into the room, we'd press this button.
Whoa!
And they'd fall in.
Ooh.
So go ahead and switch into spectator mode and just kind of, because it's going to take you way too long to actually experience the prank that we did. But this is a very MC Escher style maze.
I can see it just by looking at it through the wall.
Yeah. And there's pistons that are on timers and stuff that change which paths are open and which ones aren't.
Oh man, this place is huge.
Yeah, it was a massive project. And then basically, eventually, you come into this center area where the
ghast is.
Where the ghast is, and when you get up to here,
ooh.
And you place an item which would be the bottle that you brought with you, the wine. You'd put it in here, and it'll actually tell you how fast you completed the haunted maze in.
That's awesome. I like the little baby ghast here at the front. That's cute.
Yeah, and yeah, this is the gift shop.
Ooh, you guys have gas heads too.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Remember I was telling you about how on the server we do this thing where because they haven't incorporated stuff into the game, we don't like. Let me rephrase that. Because Third Echelon is a place where you're supposed to have the most amount of fun possible. For some people, that means building with player heads that are texture-like things. So one of the things we're going to be doing once we get the currency going is we're going to actually have a building at spawn where you can actually
turn in currency
you can buy player heads with the currency. All right. So the next place I want to take you is the witch farm, which is just past here, or past the lighthouse. So this is a major project you're about to see. I gotta log.
Wow. Oh boy.
Right when Example first joined, like way back then, we got the idea to... He was building a witch farm because there was a witch hut near his base. And we... this red ring here, we actually dug down to bedrock right here. And we had planned on digging out all the way to that far ring, because the idea was that in order to get the maximum possible rates, you would fill up either with water and then light everything up, or dig out everything, let the water stay there so that, the game doesn't even have to think, should something be able to spawn here? And then eventually we drained it to the point where now it's not even having to think about squids, right?
Yeah.
So the idea was that if you were to come from his base and walk this way, from the second you step over the threshold of this one right here, this ring.
Yep.
That's when you would, all the way behind you, if we actually did what we had said, it would be just like it is here, where it's dug all the way down to bedrock. So it wouldn't even have to think about anything spawning. So from the second you walk into spawnable territory for the witch hut, it's going to be at maximum rates. That was the idea.
Oh, it even has a built-in iron farm. Oh, wow, that is a lot of iron golems.
Yeah, imagine this. Maximum speed, maximum jump boost, maximum nausea. Back when Elytra automatically activated on its own, right? So the game we played is you would have a bow. Oh, we also gave ourselves maximum like absorption and health so that we wouldn't die because we're falling from such high distances and stuff. So, but you'd play with F1 on, so you can't see anything because you'd have too much of the health and all that in your way.
Yeah.
You would hold the space bar, so you're constantly jumping. And then the elytra would be activating automatically, right? So you just hold the space bar and you would try to shoot and snipe the other players, and it was absolutely nuts because of the nausea and stuff.
Oh, I
and
can
when you're actually doing it, it's actually not that bad, like because you're really focused on what you're doing. But when you try to watch back footage of you doing that, it is so sickening because your eyes are just focused in different ways when you're actually in the game.
Well, yeah, you'd probably be like focused on the one spot you're trying to hit him, you're aiming for it.
Yeah,
but when you watch it,
so bad.
You see everything when you watch it.
It was so bad. So that's why the chicken is running around in circles over there super fast.
That is awesome.
Okay, so this here.
Pull for happiness. I gotta do it. Can I do it?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Oh God, no! You're gonna miss it. Oh, they said hold it, as in they're trying to kill.
Huh.
No!
We got one.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, it said pull for happiness. I was looking this way.
Yeah. When you did it, here I actually recorded it, and I'll send you the footage if you want it. But when you did it, they shoved out because there's so many of them in there. They shoved out forward, but they stopped on top of the block that popped down where the lava was.
Ah.
So they actually didn't burn up until just recently now.
Oops.
Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and read this book and see. I'm just going to go ahead and copy the book instead of taking it out there. Welcome, don't break anything, please. That's literally
that's all it says. Yep, I copied it as well.
Okay, so
wait.
They've put a little guide here. So if we see the black, white, and red, that equals a foreign tower. These are the foreign or the royal colors, which are the banners are still in a work in progress. He said. So this is the city province banner. Currently, this is all a work in progress, but of this side of the river is about done. If you have any questions, ask. Oh, cool. Yeah. So there's a board. If you got any ideas for something, there's a board over there where you can put down some ideas.
So this looks like they made like another village over here as well.
Yeah, they've got a whole castle that we're about to come across.
Oh, cool.
So just keep an eye out for any.
Here's some green one.
Yep.
So storage barn / warehouse.
Yeah, this is this whale meat.
Using the new blocks and stuff. That's good. That looks good.
Yeah.
Hanging meats and things.
And then over here they've got a boat, which is not rendering in for me.
Nice little boat. Small trade ship from other states.
Yeah, this looks so weird in my view because of how it's rendering in. I'm actually seeing like the contents of the
what's in the actual ship?
Yeah, there's actually a lot more in there than I thought. Oh, here's how you get in. And then over here we're gonna see one of my diagonal bridges because
giant wheat field area.
Yeah, they had originally built the bridge straight, and I suggested it would look better if they built it diagonal, so they had me help them out with that.
It definitely gives it a lot of more character to it just by looking at it.
It's not the best one I've ever built. Doing the 1x2 diagonal is not good for bridges. 3x1 is usually better. But over here, let's go ahead and take a look at this. What do you call this? This windmill, real quick. You should see the idea he came up with.
Ooh, I like it. That is in. Oh wow. Wait. How did you? I'm guessing there's invisible blocks or barrier blocks.
Yeah, he's got barrier blocks underneath. And another thing I should have mentioned before. Some places like I don't know about here because I'm a real stickler for not wanting to get bugged by mobs when I'm working. So like right here, a mob could technically spawn right here, right? Mm-hmm. So at my base, if there's a spot like that, I'll put a barrier block there because it'll stop mobs from spawning on it.
I like that. This is cool. I like this setup they did. Oh wow, that's really detailed.
Yeah, it's such a interesting concept. So over here is their castle. If we're going over the bridge here, small shipyard and crane.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is where like they make boats. This
Yeah,
is actually like a shipyard. Yeah.
yeah. And then he told me this area, which actually we're looking at this from a different texture pack than they're building in, but this area I think is based on something from Dark Souls.
Ah.
And then let's see, I think he changed it. Yeah, the
Oh,
originally
yeah.
he
We
had
got like a little buddy over here, a mob friend. Let's see if we
yeah
can.
they aren't lighting things up as much as I do. But the originally the smoke was going the other direction, and I pointed out that the clouds are moving
In the
towards
opposite direction of the
the
smoke.
castle. So yeah, they changed it. Oh, here's another cool use for the barrier blocks over here. Actually, this cart. I put a barrier block here, and then
Oh, that's smart.
I put a sign on the other side, and then I put a sign on the other side of the barrier block on this side, and I used a command to clone it over to here, and that way the signs are holding each other up,
Yeah.
and it looks really cool. And then check out this awesome crank he's got here. That's a cart, right? It's sitting on this crank.
Oh, wow. And that can go up. Oh, I love the detail they put into this place.
Yeah.
It looks really nice. A lot of the stuff is very like industrial by the look of it.
Yeah, and then if
Really
you want
like
to take a look at their map wall in here, so here's the map wall.
Of their place. Very nice.
Oh look, yeah, he added the. Yeah, I guess they were really they wanted to make sure that the tour included their they wanted to really work on making sure that they were ready for the tour. It looks like they've done a ton of work since I was last year.
Oh, well, it shows with the
Yeah.
the place looks amazing. I really like this place. Like just the industrial parts and like the amount of detail
Yeah.
that they put into it. It's amazing. Yeah, I love those kind of stuff. It's nice. Just Minecraft itself is the ultimate game. It's the ultimate. Just if you have
Yeah.
like a huge imagination,
It's limited only by your own imagination. That's what I always.
Exactly.
That's why I love the game so much.
And exactly.
Oh,
That's
man.
why I've played it for so long as well. Just because
Right.
as long as I have an active imagination, I can just keep going and keep building.
Farmhouse and barn, and it sure doesn't hurt that they keep updating it.
Oh yeah, giving us more to work with is amazing.
Yeah, and like if this is World of Warcraft where you have to pay monthly, I wouldn't play it. I would do other things with my time, you know. But the fact that you buy it once and you just get to continue to create and have basically unlimited fun. It's almost too good to be true, you know.
Yeah.
So most of the time he's over with Paul because they're good friends in real life. So most of the time he's over with Paul, working on places with him. But this is something he started to build. I don't know if you're.
Oh, is this a circus ship?
Yeah, it's like a circus tent on it. It's got a little elephant.
I like it. Very
Little
interesting
balloons.
take on like a ship design.
Yeah, the only thing I think he could do better is I think the ship is sticking out of the water by too many blocks. I think it should
having
be
a little bit more submerged.
yeah, just a little bit, which he could also accomplish just by making the hull a little bit, just reconstructing the shape of it at the bottom to go in a
Maybe
little
moving
bit.
by about one or two more blocks just to match with the gear as well, the water thing.
Yeah, because I feel like the gear is in the right spot. I think that he'd have to.
Maybe at least
I think
one
it.
block
I don't know, because if he went too low, with the gear, I think it would be too submerged. I don't know. It looks fine. I'm nitpicking an incredible build.
Honestly, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Especially the elephant. He's cute.
Yeah, he is such a cool, and the tent in the back, the way he was able to fit such a massive looking tent onto this little area is so cool. All right, so I'm going to take you to the land that Pecos is working on. It's called Haven Island.
All right.
And again, Pecos is deep into the lore because he wrote most of it. So Haven Island exists as a place where it's a haven from the harsh land. You know, here's how the lore sort of started. Pecos had actually he was on his own playing with this idea in his head of what was going on, right? And he is a tremendously good artist. You know, most of the people Pecos is one of the original members. So the original members were all people I knew from high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next wave of people were people I knew from my job working as a visual effects artist. So Pecos is one of those people. He's a tremendously good artist. He actually drew all these incredible drawings of our characters, and he created a bunch of backstory backstory behind the drawings. So that's what actually started the lore. So his lore is that he is, he's the keeper of the lore. So we don't know a whole lot about the land of Third Echelon, but Pecos has a compendium of the knowledge of Third Echelon in his library. So it's basically like the Minecraft wiki is in his library of all the stuff about Minecraft, all knowledge about ocelots and spiders and all that stuff. And then as we as the lore is being written right now, as we investigate the land and we find ruins from the first and second ages, we are finding books that are giving us more clues as to how the world came to be and how it went from the different ages. And we have this event called the Long Winter, which is the beginning of the Third Age, because basically in the Second Age there was a long winter where things became uninhabitable. And the lore behind that comes from the fact that when I first joined the server, or when I first joined the Minecraft world that eventually became the server, the terrain that I started at back at spawn was actually a taiga biome back then.
I figured as much.
Yeah, I should mention that even though we're currently doing the server in creative and spectator, the majority of the players, including Pecos, they're doing everything 100% in survival.
Yeah.
So there are extra things such as the player heads, which will eventually roll out. Like being the person making all these plans, I get to experience these things a little bit early and do like a trial.
Play around with it, make sure it's all good for the server.
Make sure it's gonna be good for the health of the server. But other players like Pecos, they're not gonna get to experience those things until the shops actually come out. So in the lore, Kashi lives or has a place over here at Haven Island. So his place is actually this one right here. This is Kashi's banner. And actually, there's a oh man, I forgot how
I love the moose. I saw that on the Reddit too. That's awesome.
So Koala Steamed is a player that we have where he's from Australia. Obviously his name's Koala. He builds redstone computers like RAM and all those really crazy designs. So in the lore, he actually is he has a lab underneath Haven Island. So Pecos built him this lab. Haven Island inhabitates people from the Second Age. So Pecos is from the medieval era. He builds things in a more medieval style. Koala would be like futuristic. In terms
I think I remember seeing this from
lore.
Somewhere as well.
Yeah, I put this in the Dadcraft Easter service from this year as the way that I got over there. Because I always, because of the way that I constructed my channel, I call it Seiferus Third Echelon as my videos. And so all my videos have in some way or another, they have something to do with the server. So when I go over to another server, like the Dadcraft server, I start at the Third Echelon server and I make an excuse as to why I go over there. And then over here, he's got like an engine. This is pretty cool. He's been changing a lot. He's changed quite a bit over here.
Ooh.
Originally, this had like they were offset, so every other one was like this one
was
be
powered,
up,
one was not.
This one was down. Yeah, because it was supposed to simulate like they'd be shifting back and forth, which I should make sure Pecos is aware that he could actually do that. So this was the original area around Haven Island that he started with this like diamond.
Giant diamond and the beacon.
Yeah, with the beacon going through it. So this over here is the what is this? The eastern port, right? The eastern port over here. Example made a video where he had Kashi the Viking, and the thing is that we got the idea for that because Kashi was dressed up in a like a lot of us we like to get into to what we're doing. We like to
immerse ourselves.
Exactly. So we'll change our skins. Like when we prank, like I just got pranked by them. We'll see it in a minute at my base where they built the Disney castle.
Yeah,
so while they were pulling the prank, Kashi was dressed up as Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Disney princesses, of course.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But Pecos was dressed up as Mickey Mouse. But they had Joe was Anna from Frozen, and Paul was Ariel.
That is hilarious. Oh, I love that.
Okay, so Yeah,
just imagining a bunch of people dressed up in like.
Well, what's really funny is in my last video, which is episode 125, where I experienced the prank, I saw Kashi. There's a something that looks really out of place in the video where I'm at spawn with Kashi, and I had just stayed up for a full 24 hours working on a rushed visual effects job.
Yep.
So I was whacked out of my mind, tired, and I had also just had a glass of wine. So I was actually more tired than drunk, but I played it off like I was really drunk in the video.
Yeah.
And Kashi's at spawn, and it seems really weird and out of place in the video. The reason I kept it there is because Kashi's dressed up as Belle during the part, right? And what's funny...
I gotta check that out after.
What's funny is that I didn't even realize that was weird, because Kashi constantly dresses up in dresses. Anyway.
All right, ooh! I see the castle!
So not only did they build the castle, but when you get in there, you'll actually see that.
I see his symbol down here as well, the golden.
Oh yeah. He pranked me way long ago. He put the villager shrine to the great Alamantis, and I just decided to keep it. So because he's one of the original members, so we have like a connection. Like in the lore. Yeah, let's just see, the thing is that I light up my base, like if you look at my base, it's lit up way better than anybody else's base we've been to so far.
Yeah, definitely.
So when they built this castle, they weren't lighting it up as much. There's actually like glowstone underneath these carpets and stuff, but they weren't lighting up the base as well as I was, so these mobs are spawning like crazy.
Yeah, I know this is a prank and all, but the outside of the castle looks amazing.
There's this throne room right here, and the book tells me that that Princess Julie has been kidnapped. And so Princess Julie is a reference to my wife Julie, right? Who's actually is a member on the server, but really hardly plays. So they actually, not only did they build this whole thing, they sent me to Paul's old base, which is the place that we skipped because I couldn't find the coordinates.
Yeah.
Where they sent me way over there to go through this haunted mansion that he built. They actually sent me through these catacombs, had me go through this trivia of the server, like how many players are from Europe, what month did these characters join, and just crazy trivia I had to go through, fight this final boss to save Princess Julie, which turned out to be a yellow sheep with the name Princess Julie, and then I had to take her all the way back here, and in the video they had included this dwarf character. They had intended it to be as though the person who kidnapped Princess Julie was this dwarf character. So something really crazy happened. This is nuts. This is totally nuts. This is what prompted me to include it in the first place. See how this is on fire?
Yeah. This castle here, or the building here, I should say.
The church over here. Yeah. So while they were building over here all day, there must have been a lightning storm. And the back of the church caught fire, and because I used netherrack as my dirt, where people like you hide underneath, because I terraformed a lot here, right? So it's all dirt. I used netherrack when I build because I have a lot more of it than dirt. Dirt is a more valuable resource.
Well, yeah, with all the terraforming you guys do, dirt would definitely be a resource.
So they changed. I guess something in the game code where now when lightning strikes and burns the wood that was here, it left the netherrack underneath constantly burning. So the fire was constantly spreading while they were here to the next block of wood, to the next block of wood, to the next block of wood.
Each one lighting the netherrack in turn.
Yeah, exactly. So when I very first got up here, I looked over and I'm like, wait a second. Why is my church on fire? Oh my God, what's going on? And it was not even planned, right? They didn't even notice that it happened because it was a lightning strike that caused it or something.
Yeah.
So because of how weird that was, I definitely had to come back to that later on in the video. Anyway, so over here is the vineyard, and actually this isn't the vineyard that I built. I built the winery. I built the vineyard, but the winery, the building here, I actually had a project where I had Paul and Joe come on in creative mode, and they rebuilt my vineyard how they would do it. Let's say. Mm-hmm. And I had them do that, and I made a backup of the one that I built, so that I could then replace the chunks with my backup, and then look at theirs in single player world and take ideas from it to make mine different, polished up. So this is the one that they built, that's based on the design that I had originally had here. So this is technically not mine, but the actual vineyard, like the the rows of like plants and whatnot. That's all my work. And then this building over here, and then this is actually the oh man, the vintage port. I forget what I call the wine, but the nether port. Yeah, because I use nether wort represents the grapes, right? Because they look like grapes in the item frame. So I call it nether port.
Nether port.
Yeah, so it's made out of netherwort as the type of.
Maybe shouldn't have drank that.
Oh, are you all nauseated?
Just a little.
Here, I'll give you.
It's pretty good. I like the way it tastes. Oh, sobered up really quick. Yeah.
Over here is there's the library, and then.
Oh yes, you mentioned this when we were looking at the one in the main town area.
Yeah. So this is the.
And with your symbol as well.
Yeah. So this is where you'd have the defendant and the prosecution, and then obviously you got like your stands for witnesses and whatnot, give their testimonies, and then in here is the this is Alamantis's judge chambers, right? So his symbol's on the ground. Anyway, that's basically all I had planned. There's other bases that we could look at, but you've seen the majority of the interesting stuff.
And all of it was amazing. Honestly, just looking at all the builds and the different build styles is giving me so many ideas for future builds that I'd want to do.
And of course, you're whitelisted. You're fully welcome if you want to come on here, make videos, or even just hang out and look at the bases and stuff. I can send you, the coordinates. You can look them up on the Third Echelon website. But yeah, you're definitely welcome to be involved in future events on the server and all that stuff. So
I would definitely be interested in contributing a bit to the lore. That stuff is like exactly how I like to do series, just adding a narrative to playing the game. It's amazing. Pretty sure if I start looking at it, though, I'm going to go pretty far down the rabbit hole. But it's amazing what you guys have done here. And thank you for the tour. It was awesome.
Of course. Yeah, anytime. What?
What? What?
Remember how I said that I only had up to a certain point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what the heck? Oh my gosh, that's too weird. It looks like I somehow have that footage, like I don't even know how to explain it.
Use your words. I'm so confused.
Basically, it looks as though I have that footage somehow. Oh man, that's weird. That's really weird.
So
I can't tell.
It didn't stop recording, and it just
didn't stop. Yeah, this is too weird. Anyway.